Big up, guys. It's your boy, Mark, an MUFC fan. And boy, oh boy, I have a treat for you guys. My Caribbean brethren, he was supposed to be here for the watch along with me yesterday. He was unable to make it. But guess what? We have decided that we're going to be doing a show together. So we talked about it. We had a dividing point. We're both teams in red. So we say we're going to have it. Monday night, we are here. Your boy is here. And guess what? I got Tony Claude Gunner in the building. The Tony Claude Gunner, my guy. Although he's an Arsenal fan, I have to say he's a good people, good people. So I'm introducing to you all. You know, you all are my people. He is also my people, although he's a rival fan. But big up to my brother. Let him introduce himself to you all. Take it away, bro.
Mm. See, yeah, big ups to this channel. See, yeah, guys, yeah, even apart from Mark, the humble words he just used for me there. See, yeah, people of this channel, people of this chart, you know me. I mean, I've been in the charts. Not for crying out loud. I've been in the charts. I've come down here to throw you guys in the charts. I'm a friend of this channel. I'm a big friend of Mark. I've admired this channel from the shadows, and it's only just that me and this brother, bring to you, our new show together. And of course, I mean, you guys are just gonna sit back and just testify about everything we're gonna do down here. I mean, it's not your typical very, very serious football content because, of course, my style, I delve into a lot of things, yeah, but mostly in a very comic way. But still, we'll still get a point across. We'll still get into the things we need to get into. Me and Mark will be looking into a range of things. It's not just only going to be subjected to Arsenal, Manchester United. We both wear red, but mind you, we have to also check out other teams too. Talk about how they look like, their chances, and also investigate Arsenal's chances and Manchester United's chances. But in this case, we know what we're going to talk about this evening, so definitely we know where the trajectory is going on, and of course you can see Mark is smiling, all 32s. I mean, oh my days, he's
Yo.
just laughing. I mean, those of you here in the chat, you understand why this brother Mark is laughing and smiling. Of course, you know what happened. Big up to this channel. Love to all of you. And my name is Tony Plot Corner TV. And of course, you can subscribe to the channel because me and Mark are going to be doing lots of stuff together. And this is our first show together. Big up to you, Mark. Thanks. Take it away.
Yo, glad to have you, bro. Long time coming. You know, every time we face Arsenal, I'm like, Tony Claude, he promised me a rival stream, and we can't get to it yet. Last night I was hoping to have you, but I know you were a busy man. You know, you referee and stuff in the background. Lots of great things
Yeah.
with the grassroots. You know, I'm one of a fan of those things and contributing, giving back in those things as best as I could. So I applaud you for that,
Thanks.
bro. But you know, Arsenal, we gotta get to it. And I'm gonna let you take center stage because we were at home. We were at your house last night. Of course.
No center stage. Me and you are going to have a
No,
conversation.
we're here,
How
but you
about
know,
that?
you first as the guest. I'll let you go first because you played in that Real Madrid-esque white kit. I guess you know that it was more Spursy white yesterday, but it looked nice. It looked okay. You know what I mean? Quite not like our Trefoil white. You know what I mean? I think that's the best Adidas white kit it has right now this season. But I think you were let down quite a bit by some of your players. You know, Martinelli was, he's a good player, and for me, he should be levels better this season. Like this is the Martinelli I saw last season, and I feel like he should be better than that. You know what I mean? I feel like Trossard. I don't know if he wants to be there, but your team kind of looking like my team at the start of the season from my perspective. Not really together, missing one or two pieces that really knit the squad together. And only last night, to be fair, like I know your team is more of a team, but you really, really missed Bukayo Saka last night.
Yeah. 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 Of course, big ups to you, Mark. Yeah. I mean, the last word you just said, the last word. Yeah. Guys in the chat. Take a peep at this, yeah. The last word that Mac just said, that's the most truest, in its truest form, you would ever get a Manchester United fan say. You know, see, Mark, yeah, yesterday it had the hallmarks of Arsenal missing a showstopper. It had the hallmarks of Arsenal missing a goal predator. I mean, let's check this holistically. How can a team, yeah, that in that matchup yesterday had about 2.33 expected goal to Manchester United 0.31 xg. The whole chances, it was Arsenal. The whole play, it was Arsenal. Of course, later on, I mean, after that one man demise, I mean, Diego Dalot being shown the red card to get booted, from the field. Of course, you could say yes, playing with 10 men, definitely they will have to focus on defense. But yet, Arsenal still had the bigger chances. Arsenal still had 2.33 xg, while we limited you guys to defending and holding the fort, playing one man down, and having a 0.31 in the XG ratio. And of course, Arsenal ball possession 50-50. It was a very, very highly contested match. Let's don't throw that all away. The chances doesn't tell you more about the game and its nitty gritty anyway. But the ball possession was shared because Manchester United had their share of the ball, and even when Dalot even got his matching orders, you guys were still actually even, still playing, still trying to churn out chances. I mean, I saw Zexi one or two. I mean, Manchester United fans here, you guys should be very careful the way you guys throw your vitriol on Zexi. I mean, it's easy to cuss out that player, a player who just came from the Italian Serie A. But oh my God, when that guy came in, you could see what he was trying to do. You was trying to see him holding play. You saw him hold the play. You saw him trying to configure something out of nothing, and that's what he gives you. So I think is a more dynamic player anyway, but because he still showed some certain kind of class, even if you guys were one man down and was trying to force out some stuff. But again, throw that all away. Goal attempts. Arsenal had 14 guys. Let that sink in. Arsenal had 14. Big ups to Red United TV. Big up to you, brother. Arsenal had about 14 goal attempt yesterday to Manchester United 5 yesterday. Make sense because Arsenal was the home team definitely. Arsenal had more gameplay, had more incursive ball play, but no end product, and that has what has been a bigger problem for this Arsenal team. Mikel Arteta decided to go down to Chelsea. This is where it all started. Mikel Arteta decided to go down to Chelsea, give Chelsea 65 million pounds, and say, "Hey, yeah, guys, yeah, please, we need your German, your German giraffe down there. Send him down here for us." And then they got Kai Havertz for 65 million pounds, and this is what you get when you buy mediocre players for big time money. When you bring in a player for big time money, I mean, for that amount of money, you have to play the player. And that is the conundrum that faces Mikel Arteta. He can't afford to keep Kai Havertz on the bench. If you pay 65 million pounds for a player plus add-ons, you have to play that player. You have to put that player on. It doesn't matter whether he kind of like truncates the way or the natural harmony of the team. In more times, I've seen Mikel Arteta hack off. I mean, Thomas Partey and put him down there on the right, therefore truncating the middle, trying to just push Kai Havertz into that midfield, and it's really hurting Arsenal as a football club. The rot has already started even before we got into this Manchester United matchup. Yeah, of course, Gabriel Jesus clashed with Bruno Fernandes. I mean, it's easy to say that maybe, you know, to say that maybe that wasn't a genuine one. But again, go tell Gabriel Jesus, who has already left us this season already. It was confirmed, at least from certain spaces, that Gabriel Jesus will be missing throughout the whole season. So it was a genuine problem he had when he clashed down there with Bruno Fernandes. He damaged his ACL, so he wouldn't be performing for Arsenal. I mean, from now to the end of the season, and that's a big loss for us. And even if Gabriel Jesus got injured, you could see he couldn't really do anything because Arsenal's attack doesn't have no bite. We don't have a prolific striker. I mean, you could say the same thing for Manchester United. I mean, with some of the chances you had in that game, I mean, it's just a goal from, I mean, the captain, who many Manchester United fans like to hate, Bruno Fernandes. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Starting the ball. I mean, you could just see the tactical way. Yeah. I mean, the skill set he used in actually driving the ball away from our defenders. I mean, of course, when you get that pass, it's just very simple to just to just bypass that Arsenal defense, in which my defense is a shambles in the last 3 games now. We've been conceding very silly goals. I mean, not raking up the goals per se, but there's just some certain silly goals that Arsenal have been conceding of lately. And of course, Manchester United exploited that fact yesterday. And of course, that goal from Bruno Fernandes, because you were able to, you know, uh, 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 get Gabriel, which is one of my best, who has been one of my best defenders this season, get him away from the ball. I mean, Saliba was nowhere to be found. Julian Timber just had no other option than to just watch Bruno Fernandes just find that top beans. I mean, that's the quality that Bruno Fernandes gives to you. And in the past three games, I mean, he's brought in that quality, and he has shown why he's the captain of your football club. It's in little margins, it's in the little spaces, it's in the little things that he does, that he shows you his quality. He might not be a consistent kind of player for Manchester United when you do need him, but oh my God, when you do need a goal, he somehow just rears his head and scores that goal. And that's why in this business, you have to be careful who you criticize. Bruno Fernandes, what a goal yesterday, Mark. I know you have choice words for that. But again, Arsenal equalizing from that goal from Gabriel, just that ball, the precision to just get that ball down and just get the ball in and just get it as a shot on goal, and definitely as a goal. I thought that your goalkeeper should be doing more. But it doesn't necessarily mean that if Onana was there, that he was going to get that ball, because I mean, there were lots of players who were crowding his vision. But at the end of the day, I can only go by the keeper you have, at the post, at the time. And I just felt the goalkeeper would have done a little bit more, mostly when that ball got into his near post. So he
Yeah.
should be doing a little bit more to get, contact with that ball, but he didn't get that in. So we throw that all away. Gabriel equalizing for the Arsenal. You could see the passion, because it's most of our defenders that have been bailing us out this season. He came out to bail us out again. And what happens when the goals from Saliba won't be there, the goals from Gabriel won't be there, Saka definitely injured. I mean, what happens when this players in defense come out and bail us, don't have the knack for scoring corner kicks no more, like yesterday? I mean, Mark, you came on my show and you called my team Stoke City FC. I do agree to that, no problem. We're one of the best in terms of getting set pieces. No issues, no problem. I accept that nomenclature. But the problem there is that for some couple of matches, scoring from set pieces has also become a bigger problem for the Arsenal. It's not that we're not arranging properly, but these things happen. And in big games like that Manchester United game, where you do need set pieces to get anything going for you, and you don't get it, that's the problem. You do need a striker who would bail you out in those spaces. And lo and behold, Arsenal doesn't have a striker. We can't get into the end of things. Yeah, you talked about Gabriel Martinelli. He's yeah, he could, beat one man. He could, get one or two balls across, but there's no definite punch, no definite bite, no definite end product. I have a captain who looks shabby, whose skill set is very, very limited when he finds uh, 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 top players in the middle of the park. He can't find those spaces. Um, yeah, you could say he was able to conjure one or two passes down to the forward line, but no bite. You know, no clear cut, thorough chances he
I
created. It's
mean,
just drab at the end of the day. He loses the penalty, which was a soft penalty, by the way. If you ask me, by my standards, if I was the referee in that matchup, I wouldn't be giving that penalty. I felt it was very, very soft. But again, this is the game of football. You should be very wary about any kind of contact in the 18-yard box. That's where I blame Maguire. You could really see it that in the 18-yard box, he had his hands on Kai
yeah, he
Havertz.
did.
And
He did.
that's a recipe for disaster when you're in the 18-yard box in a high profile, high intensive matchup like that matchup. When the referee sees from behind, the referee wasn't too close in that encounter, but he saw it from behind. And when you're from behind and you see
It looks
just a
bad.
shred, just a shred of anything that has
Contact.
to do
It
with your
looks
hands,
bad.
contact on that player, the referee from behind is going to give that as a penalty, definitely. But us who shared the understanding with the TV set and saw that, we all knew that that contact wasn't really enough, to
It
warrant
was
a penalty. But he
minimal.
gave it. Yeah, I just felt his karma. He gave it to the Arsenal, but yet our captain who's
Bad.
supposed to be our talismanic captain fluffed his lines, lose the penalty, and that's where we are. Extended into extra time or whatnot, and Arsenal just goes and fluffed our lines in the penalty kicks. I mean,
But
Manchester
before we get
United
to those
is a more
penalty
better team.
kicks,
Yeah,
before we get to those penalty kicks, I have to agree with your boy assembled here on this one. Arsenal give United a huge ego boost. They need to start preparing for next season. Martinelli was playing as an out and out left back during the game in some instances, and I did notice that. But more importantly, I would say, remember I was in your chat and I said to you, I say, by in there starting, everybody panicking. But I feel this guy gives me more confidence as a shot stopper than Onana. And with the fact that, I think everybody's have a price to pay or something to repay for wrongs happen to them. I felt that he would have come into the game with a chip on his shoulder, see a much better performance, and it's one of those things that I think it was vital. The way we attacked the game was much different. We played Arsenal a sort of different United game that they haven't seen because before we were trying to build out the back. But in this
mm,
game, we were putting the ball long and fighting the midfield.
yeah.
And I don't think Arsenal was entirely prepared for that tactic. I think, like I said to you, I think you guys were heavily complacent. Jorginho, an experienced guy, he's supposed to be doing more. I mean, I'll just say this. I know a lot of fans have their problems with Bruno,
But but
and we
but how do
spoke
you
about
expect
it.
Jorginho to do more? How do you
You see,
expect
because
Jorginho to do more?
Jorginho has
This
the
manager hasn't
experience.
even given him game time. And
He
that's
hasn't
why
had game
Jorginho
time,
wants
but
out right now. He hasn't given
true,
him game time.
true,
You just hack away the midfield we have. Bring in
true.
Jorginho to come and do what? To come and do what? He lacks game fitness. You could see it. I mean, again, Mark, you should be giving your midfield trio a big, big, big credit, man. I mean, Kobe Mainoo on the night. He did it before in the first installment when we played this season. Very tenacious player. I like the kid. He's a great player. I wonder why Manchester United fans want this guy out. I mean, these fans must be mad wanting this guy out. I
No,
mean,
I
you could
think it's
see
a
the
I
output, you
think
could
it's a
see the
little bit of
energy
a
he's
transfer
bringing into
mistake
the
with that.
game.
With Kobe
And
Mainoo,
again,
a
you
lot
have
of fans
Ugarte. You have
heard
to be
heard a
clapping up
noise about
Ugarte and what he did.
200K and they were got frenzied. Right now we don't have that funding and you don't want a player that young to be demanding all that money and it seems a little bit wrong. So I feel like that news from Chris Wheeler kind of gave him a bad image, which I don't believe is true. I feel like the young man is pretty humble. Ahmad as well. I don't think these young brothers would be going asking for that monumental salary after just a breakout season or a
No,
breakout
but
few games.
but why? I'm sorry, Mark. I'm divided, with you on this one because why wouldn't the kid deserve more. I mean, this kid is seeing all these Oreos, all these chicken heads, yeah, in Manchester United, yeah, raking in the cash. I mean, he's seeing Rashford, one of the highest paid players, and in a high profile match like this, he's nowhere to be found. And this guy's getting salary from the cover. Why? I mean, so you want all these Oreos to earn money from the cup, and you don't want someone who's putting in a shift. I mean, a pretty much decent shift, actually, if you ask me, week in, week out, and you don't want the guy to feed? Come on, man. He's looking
No,
at
I
all these
mean,
other players
for
that don't
me,
put an effort in this Manchester United team, and he's looking like, oh my God, I'm putting so much effort. And they actually, maybe after me, I'm at Diallo, maybe Ugarte, maybe sometimes Onana if he helps out. Uh, Is putting in a decent shift, and these other guys are not even putting in a decent shift. I mean, I deserve more. So I don't have a problem with a player who thinks he deserves more and is putting the effort in trying to get that more. So because he's looking at everyone around him, and all these guys are millionaires. I mean, they're getting big time money for doing nothing. I mean, if I were Kobe Maynard, I'll be demanding for more. Oliver Twist, the quest for more,
I don't
ask for
disagree
more.
there, but for me, like I would say this, bro, what we are lucky to have is some young players who come through the ranks that understand that, they could ask for it, but they would like to look to show that they earned it. Because the
Mm,
fans is a very difficult situation. And while Hayden is saying Bruno is the guy, I would say
mm,
concurrently, a lot of my fans would like to have your number 10, your number 8, I mean, in Odegaard. But for me, I
mm,
think if you had a Bruno, if we swap roles, Bruno won you all the game last night. I think Bruno takes risks and Odegaard doesn't. And I think that's what sets him on that next level. I feel like
mm,
Odegaard is too safe. And the reason why he's too safe, I mean, even here, they could see it too. Credit to Bruno, it was an exceptional strike. When last have you seen Odegaard take a strike from outside the box or in and around the box? He keeps the ball, he looks to pass. And while that works in recycling, what I mean, it's one of
mm,
those things where I feel like we definitely need to pay attention to this is where the level is go up in certain players and certain positions. Now, a top player Odegaard is as well, but he's not that game changer for me. He's never been.
mm,
And you miss that in your team, i.e. Saka, or maybe a new striker. I think Mikel Mourinho came in, he does everything pretty neat, but at the same time, he doesn't have that X factor. I thought Partey looked
yeah.
pretty good in the game. I'm not a fan, but he looked pretty good. I felt like what Arsenal did at some points, they kept us pinned back in when they had attacks. They had some sustained attacks in moments, and I was worried. Plus, you all had the 12th man on the pitch with you all in a white kit, but he was wearing orange and blue. And I
Mm,
just feel like it's one of those situations where everything was on your side to win the game. You're home, you have the home fans, the referee on your side,
yeah.
you're in your brilliant white kit, you're looking nice, but you're just not finishing your dinner. Now, a
Mm.
lot of your players seem to be injured in your squad this season, but like for me, we complain a lot of fans. They massacred Ten Hag for the 600 million he spent. Arteta spent 800, and I don't see it in your team.
Actually,
Excuse me.
Arteta spent 750 million, to be very fair. 750 million pounds. That's
I
how
actually
much
didn't check the
is spent.
specifics, but I heard lots of Gunners say around 800 mil. So I'll just say, 800 mil because they say 650 for Ten Hag. So it is what it is
Yeah.
on that. But I think your team definitely needs maybe two players. I don't think a striker alone is the answer. I think maybe a left winger. Maybe if you get a left winger, I feel like you open up the game a little more, something different. Because what
Mm,
I realize is Man United, they play Martinelli already this season. Now, if you go
yeah.
back and watch the first 50 minutes of the game, tell me what Martinelli has done differently in both games. Nothing. He's
Nothing.
done the same thing. It's like he plays the same game over and over
He plays
against
the
certain
same game.
teams. And that is a weakness in your squad. And of course, your manager need to take a little bit of a lesson on Amorim and how to address because you cannot blame the ball. But you did say that the referee was in favor of Man United. And as a referee yourself, right? For me, I think you need to speak on that part. I know some of the guys in the chat have been asking that question. You know, Irfan is certainly wondering. Have one question to your guest, Claude. Are you impressed with the referee since we played against 12 men? Honestly, I mean, you could be honest. It's free speech. It's free speech. Yes or
Yeah.
no? I mean, it is what it is. It have moments when it happened to United. Of course, I'm not going to deny it when it happens. And of course, I would say it is what it was in the same situation as what you might say today.
Hmm. See, man, uh, that referee yesterday, man. I mean, if I was the opposing fan, yeah, to be very sincere, because in this type of scenarios, after the fact, I always want to be very careful the way I delve into them because um, you don't know what perspective through which the referee sees things, and that's a big problem. Um, hmm. That offside goal, was that goal really offside? Even if you had Maguire touch that ball, uh, I'm not hearing you. You're mute. You're mute. You're
The
mute.
rule states there must be an active play made by the player. And because Maguire didn't actually tackle the ball, even though the ball actually ricocheted off of his foot, which for
Yeah,
me,
it touched.
now
It
if they're
touched it.
giving
It
it,
touched it. It touched it. It touched it.
I being
I just
told,
wanted you. I just wanted you to just give me a background note. If
no,
he
he didn't
touched the
touch it.
ball,
The ball hit
because
him, is what I
it
said.
hit. Yeah, it hit him. It doesn't matter if it hits you. If it touched you, it doesn't matter.
No, but
So
that's what I
that
say to
can
you. If they had
also be
give it,
contested. That can also be.
I would have hold it if they had gave it. But what I would
The,
say is this. In similar moments, these are all part and parcel of the game. This is why even though I crashed out during the stream based on the refereeing, I'm one of those
mm,
fans that say, you know what, we always gonna have a shit ref. Whether it is black, white, shine, it's whoever they come from, whoever they're from, they definitely is not a United fan. And they
yeah,
all grew
yeah.
up on their knees under our domination for 20 years. So they hate us all. So for
Personally,
me,
if they scored that goal, personally, I would give it as a goal.
I would have also, bro, to be honest, it hit him.
It touched Maguire. It just needs to get just a little bit of a touch, and it did, and it entered. But again, one of the things there is that no VAR in this matchup. So I don't really blame the referee. Sometimes you need help in this kind of dicey situation. So I could really excuse him for that, but I felt that was a goal. However, to be very fair, I really thought that Kai Havertz penalty was a soft penalty. I mean, it was soft in a way. Again, the referee wasn't really around the situation that much to be able to have a panoramic view on what really happened down there. I just felt that he saw a hand stick out, and when a hand stick out in those situations where the opposition is with the ball and you're in the 18-yard box, and the opposition sticks his hand out to just get that last gaps
Mm.
position over the opposition attacking player. That, that's a recipe for disaster. You don't defend like that because to the referee, he's seeing a hand that's sticking out. To us, the fans, because we're seeing it through lenses, we can see that it's soft. We can see that even wasn't really. There was no big impact, on of that touch on him. And of course, Kai Havertz, tall, lanky German, nuanced in the theatrics of diving and stuff like that. He took the dive on that one. For me, I wouldn't give that as a penalty. He gave it as a penalty anyway. Diego Dalot, I mean, that red card he got. I mean, there's no other thing he could do. I mean, it
He
was a
didn't
yellow
get
card.
touched though. He
There was
didn't
no
get touched,
option.
bro.
There was,
He could
I
have.
mean,
He could
but there
have.
was
You as a ref, you could walk on that one because there was no contact. There was clear no contact. So
there
for
was
me,
there was clear no contact. But again, that's what I'm saying. In these high profile matches, you do need the help of VAR. You do need
exactly.
the help of VAR. The referee didn't have a panoramic view. He thought that's what he saw. So that puts me 50-50 on the referee. I don't really think he was in on the game 100, but I also do understand that referees in this high caliber kind of games do need the help of technology, because there will be one or two things that you don't see. There'll be one or two situations that you just need the third eye to just help you out in them. And of course, with that penalty situation, with a more big eye view, panoramically from the VAR, would have helped him to really understand what Kai Havertz really did there. I felt that was too soft. That he would have known that Dalot, even if he made that tackle, didn't even really touch, the player in some way. So I feel that's the problem. It's a 50-50 for me. The referee wasn't the perfect guy. Of course, it's a 50-50. You know, that's what I'll
I
just say on that referee.
I mean, I don't disagree there. I mean, if it's one thing I know, Claudia will be genuine about the game, regardless of what the situation is. This is why I like your channel. But, moving from the penalty, you know, two things I have to ask you. Well, we will come to one of those. One of those questions came from the chat as well. But, for me, like I was explaining, I think Ruben Amorim played a more counter-attacking style of football in the first half. And I think the second half, he switched slightly to less counter-attacking, more control, because he
Yeah,
realized throughout the game that Arsenal were losing creativity. For a large portion of the center of the game, between the 30th minute, I would say, and around the 60th minute when we scored, I felt like United was in control of the game you know. And when we scored and then Dallo got sent off, I crashed out. And I came back and I sat down, watched the game. I watched United, make some changes. They assessed the game, they settled down, buckled down. We defended some moment of sustained pressure, and then United started to attack through Joshua Zirkzee. Some brilliant moments of play. Of course, he destroyed
yeah.
Saliba in the midfield. You know,
Oh,
he gave him two nutmegs, one after the other, and he didn't know where his orientation was. All of a sudden, he was being marked by Jorginho, and they were both on the ground, and Josh Rosicky was off to the races with Ahmad. Of course, we didn't convert on that in that situation, but we should have. I felt like, and from that moment, the game was all for Man United in a way. And when it got to extra time, I got a little bit suspect because I felt like, 10 men, low on
10 men
energy.
tired.
Usually Arsenal will make the advantage, but it never came. And then we went to penalty shootout. So my thing is, when we got to that penalty shootout, I know as an Arsenal fan, you probably would be very confident in Raya. He has been one of the consistently good keepers in this league and throughout the last two seasons. And realistically, I felt we were going to be in a tough situation. And then Altai made that save. But something struck me watching that penalty shootout. It looked like I watched five penalties on replay. Raya
Mm.
stepped forward, hopped, and dove to the left five times. I was like, hold my beer. Did this guy press this on autopilot? Let me know what you think, bro. And then after we'll get to some interesting questions, because I see Madhouse wants to ask you, if Arsenal plays beautiful football. So after you finish talk about that moment on penalties, we'll get to that question.
I mean, see, there's nothing much to say about the penalty kicks. I didn't really see anything big or worthy of a big discussion. It's just David Raya being David Raya. Mind you, coming into this matchup, David Raya, has had quite a decent save level. He's been able to pull up some certain saves this season with the penalty when it comes to penalty kicks. I mean, there was one penalty he saved when we played against Atalanta in the Champions League. I mean, you could remember that clean, clear cut. I mean, that's his tactics. That's how he, that's how he does. He's a showboater sometimes when he has to. But that matchup yesterday, I just felt it was pent up pressure because Ar- he knew that Arsenal should have buried this game. So when it's getting to that penalty, it has all the hallmarks of Manchester United just getting in on them. Yeah, I mean, we have Martin Odegaard I mean, who didn't score a penalty. He had that chance on the play. So don't throw away the fact of this mentality margins. Odegaard has already lost a penalty. He knows that the pressure is on them. We have home fans that are down there. Yeah, they should be cheering him on, but it's not all about the cheers. It's all about how you can control the game and control your sticks. I I just really felt odd when he was jumping about doing all those stuff. No bites, nothing. Manchester United, the well drilled in penalty kicks. I mean, when was the last time Manchester United lost a penalty? I can't remember. I can't remember. I
I
can't
think we
remember.
lost one right just recently, bro. Actually, I
When?
think we lost our
When
penalty
was that?
shootout.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no,
sure
no,
if it
no.
was in
I'm
the
talking of no. I'm not talking of shootout. I'm talking of penalty.
but we don't get
Penalties.
awarded penalties often, bro. We haven't
Th- That's
we
what I'm
have had
saying.
13
When,
shouts in the Premier League this season for penalties, but we've
bro,
only been
you've
given
scored all
two.
your penalties this season.
We've been
This
given two.
season, you've scored all your penalties. I don't think you've lost any penalty this season. But again, I mean, you guys can correct me, but I don't think Manchester United have lost a penalty this season. But
I
again,
don't know.
throw that all away. Throw that all away. Manchester United, they're more calm, more confident on the ball when they were taking the penalty. You could see the precision. They already knew where to put the ball into even before they stepped up to take that penalty. Easy peasy, get your penalties in. I mean, David Raya was just, showboating around, and maybe that was his tactics to get things going for him. But sometimes these things work, sometimes it doesn't work for you. So I really do understand that. So it's just one of those
Yeah.
things. It's just one of those things for me. It's just one of those things. But Mark, just before we go into these questions and this stuff you're talking about, I'm uh, I'm shocked that you didn't mention two people in your analysis. I mean, what are we talking about here? Bro, you missed the sheer skill of Maguire. That mean
I was
what
gonna
kind of
talk about
racism are
Maguire
we doing
next.
here? I mean,
This is not at
pun
all.
intended.
I
What
saved
kind of
mine for
racism are
last.
we doing down here? Let's
You build
I
up
mean, let's
and
talk about
you hold the
Maguire.
last because
Let's talk about the performances
no, but let's talk
he's
about
given the
Maguire.
team.
Yeah, I know you want to talk about Maguire because I
Bro,
know
let's talk about
Arsenal fans
Maguire.
was
I
talking.
mean, look at
I
what
hear
he
some
brought in.
Arsenal fans talk yesterday, and I feel
And
like
when he
y'all
was
might be
subbed, you could
interested in
see the
buying
whole crowd, they
Maguire.
clapped him off. Bro, what are we talking about? How can you talk about this matchup and we're not talking about Maguire and
Well,
what he
see, I had
gave
to
in that
save,
matchup?
like I said to you, I saved the
Bro, he
best for
gave a lot in
last.
that matchup. I think he deserved the mention. How about Ugarte in that midfield, tirelessly working, tirelessly pushing players, headbutting players? I mean, that headbutt he had left on Kai Havertz is a yellow card offense, if you ask me. In some incendiary spaces, a red card. But again, he's showing the tenacity you want from a more like a defensive midfielder in that middle of the park. He is the guy. I mean, Manchester United have found their own Roy Keane. It's simple. It's easy. Do the dirty job in the middle of the pitch. Truncate Arsenal's easy passage of the ball in the midfield. Truncate those chances. We know that Martin Odegaard will still find pocket spaces. Truncate it. And that's what he did. He broke up play most of the time. His interceptions are of a higher rate. He gives in more. His skill set is good. He has a big, big, big footballing IQ. Ugarte is the guy. And I'm just wondering why in most Manchester United podcasts I've been hearing, no big kudos have gone to Maguire and what he did. Yeah, I know he cost a penalty, but I mean, he put in a lot of work trying to just to just counter
It's fine.
what Arsenal had to offer in the attacking sense. And Ugarte, oh my days! I mean, I'll take an Ugarte now. I would take Anogate now. There's nothing soft about that guy. It's, I mean, it's tenacious. The skill set is there. The IQ is there. Interception high rate.
Boy. I find you
What do you
waxing too
want from a
lyrical about
midfielder?
my player, brother. Listen,
Like,
I banter and I fight and I battle. And I went to court backing this brother over Zuba Mendy and the likes of Fofana this summer with my own fan base. Some brethren in the chat could tell you. I was probably one of the only men that was like, hey, forget Zuba Mendy, forget Fofana, get me Ugarte. Because here
mm,
why? I'm a old school fan. United have so many different versions of a schematic. We have three different schematics of how we could be the best we can be. Ferguson showed us that. But the one thing that was always important is a roughhouser, a bad mama jama guy, bro. A guy who gonna come
Mm.
in there and not care about no one. Your bruiser man, he's coming for you. You know that kind of Roy Keane-esque
Yeah.
type of mentality. A
It's Roy
bruiser,
King. It's Roy
like
King. His
Vidic.
abilities is Roy
He has
Kingish.
that kind of mentality of those guys.
Yeah.
He's the
Yeah.
new era. We had a Roy Keane in more midfield centrally. We had a Vidic
Mm.
in defense. Now we bring a kind of that kind of esque in the defensive midfield era that mold well. And with Kobe Min, who's a kind of nice guy, very
Yeah.
technical footballer, is the right matchup because it's light and dark, it's good and
Yeah.
evil, and you're getting it
Yeah.
either way. And another, I didn't mention Maguire because I wanted to talk about him at the end because for me, since last season, he's been on a resurgence. Man of the match 2 times, man of player of the month twice in the Premier League last season as a defender. Although he had some moments where he was out injured, but his performances was always on the front foot. And we always knew Maguire's even better in a back three. So when we got
Mm.
Amarim, I was like, this guy is going to be playing games. And as much as I didn't talk about it, because I know some fans have feelings that maybe he should be leaving, he's 31 years old this season, and a lot of the fans prefer to have a more younger, experienced squad, like maybe a defender around 26, 27 years old, or maybe a young generational talent like the likes of Euro, who I would say came into that game and shut it down on the right hand side. He put,
Mm.
they moved Maserati to the left, and Euro shut down that right side. I mean, Maserati
That
had
right
some
hand side.
problems
Yeah.
when he was against Sterling, who I think, for the better part, should have been starting that game for you guys. I mean, when I saw some of
Mm.
his performances, I was like, he's never scored a goal against United, but if this brother had started, he might have changed that record.
We might have
I was
changed that.
shocked that he
Yeah.
didn't start.
Exactly.
They start Jesus, and I'm like, that's insane. He's a better winger than Jesus. You know what I
And
mean?
that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. My manager. I mean, see, it's no wonder that I want the manager out. I mean, it's because of decisions like these. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. I mean, you have a player on the bench who could give you more. I mean, the sheer experience that Sterling, has got in this Premiership. I mean, you should at least be giving him at least even a run in. I knew, of course, I do understand that he's had injury problems most of the time this season. I do know he lacks match fitness, but again, when he comes off the bench and gives you performances like that, and then you just sit back and wonder. I mean, why isn't this player playing week in, week out? But again, I think it's down to the inconsistencies of Sterling himself. So I won't totally blame the manager on that one. But again, this manager still needs to be checked on these things. He was the one that decided to go in and bring in Sterling from Chelsea Football Club. So why bring a player to come and sit down on the bench and don't use him at all? So these are the thin margins that we also need to investigate about Mikel Arteta and the way he treats players. You brought in a player from Chelsea Football Club, yeah, good and okay. But you didn't go for the big one. I wanted a Kudus. I wanted, someone more younger, someone more hungry. I just really feel like Sterling has achieved everything he wants in football. He's had that, he's had that, uh, uh, call up in England. He's played lots of games for England. He's played for Manchester City. He's had his stint at Liverpool. I mean, he won trophies, multiple trophies at Manchester City. So he has it all. I don't really sense that hunger. But again, when you look at yesterday's game, yeah, and then you just see you need someone to score goals for you, and you have someone with that pace, with that range down on the bench. I mean, the manager has to be called out for this type of acrimonious decisions, and that's why many fans yesterday that weren't Arteta out are beginning to look at the performances and say, hey, yeah, you know what, yeah, this manager must be the bigger problem. He went down there to Chelsea, dashed them £65 million, yeah, went back to Chelsea again. I mean, that's after bringing Kai Havertz into the team. No problem. Good and okay. You go back to that same Chelsea team. and go bring in, I mean, a Sterling, and you're not using Sterling, you're keeping him on the bench. The guy even gets mystery injuries in training. I mean, Sterling actually missed 2 weeks. Gameplay because he injured his knee, and not injuring his knee playing for Arsenal Football Club. He injured his knee in training. I don't count that as playing for the club. Now, again, you could see Mikel Arteta has far-reaching issues with his with his decisions, mostly his decisions, and the kind of 11 he push out in to start games, and I felt that that was a bigger problem in this game against Manchester United. See, I don't even want to talk to you about his bringing in of Willian from Chelsea Football Club, and of course Willian saying that they're going to win the Champions League with Arsenal Football Club. I mean, all these things it just caricatures the club, and it shows where we are in terms of recruitment and the management of this football club. It's in shambles. And right now, our attacking players are just dropping like flies, one by one. I, I mean, we don't have Bukayo Saka. Mind you, if Bukayo Saka was in that game, definitely there'll be something different because he comes with a punch. He's more direct with his, with his play. He takes on defenders head on, and he has a skill set to get that end product in. Uh, but that's not. That's a different story entirely with what Arsenal had yesterday. No incisive, incursive movement into the 18-yard box. The crosses were useless. Trossard, even the changes off the bench were utterly shameful. I mean, disgraceful performance by these guys. Martinelli, yeah, he made a few runs here and there, tried to beat his man yesterday, but I mean, with no real punch to it in it. I mean, even Mark, you saw it yesterday, very, very drab. Odegaard tried to find pocket spaces, but I mean, it was truncated more times by Ogate, who was the more dominant character in the middle of the park. Because when you have strong personalities and strong characters in the middle of the park, Martin Odegaard just fizzles out of the game. I'm not saying he fizzled out of the game entirely, but I mean, you just see traces of him being bamboozled and being malhandled in the middle of the park. And that's thanks to Kobe Mainoo and thanks to Ugarte. I mean, they did that perfectly well. If it was maybe with a lesser midfield in terms of performance, in terms of delivery, maybe he would have churned out something different. But I mean, everything was just going wrong yesterday. And see, I need not remind Arsenal fans who are in this chart. Arsenal have now gone 2 games with 49, 49 chances and only scored 1 goal. I mean, 49 shots on goal with just only one. Just imagine that. Only one
Yeah,
goal
bro,
in two
that was
matches.
us last season, brother. Trust me. We were like,
49
brother,
chances created with
you
only one
speak into
goal.
the
It's clear.
choir,
It's
bro.
clear. No striker. There is
I
no
mean,
befitting attacker.
I'm not
How
lying
can we
again.
go
We
for the
were just
title
that
with this?
excuse on no striker today. You have to, tonight, you're gonna have to admit to the fans that the ref definitely was uber biased to Arsenal. Of course, we will make as a referee, you have to admit that as truth. But the next question I have to ask is what Marhouse is proposing here. He was like, when it became a problem towards the end, has Arteta reached his limit? And I wanted to ask this question for the longest while, bro. Just before you answer that question, guys, if you have the chance, please go check out Tony Claude Gunner TV, my brethren, Caribbean brother. You know what it is. We just do it. So smash a like if you have the time. Go check him out. You know what I mean? As we are getting to the last bit of the show right now, because this question is gonna take Tony a little while. Muncie's already saying the only thing Odegaard was found was our goalkeeper
Shout out
stand when he
Monty.
missed that penalty. Big up to Muncie in the building. You know what I mean? Hey, there was here. He said he would like to know the real story of how Arteta maneuvered his ways into the Cronky's good graces. It makes no sense. Of course, for me, I would say it from a perspective. I feel like maybe Josh, thought Arteta might have been able to become a very good coach. It's easy, he's a young guy taking over a big football club. He has to make some radical decisions. Over the first 3 seasons, I would say they've seen drastic improvements where I could see why they backed Arteta. You know, It's also why I kind of believed in Ten Hag, even though the improvement wasn't drastic. There was increments, there was some moments, there was bad moments. You know, we was in that injury crisis last season. Poor performances galore. You know, it was crash out situation, and we still managed to win our FA Cup. And this is one of the things I always question Arteta on. Why does he rubbish cups when he's always the first big coach or big team out of said cups? Arsenal has been the first team to get knocked out of the in the big teams, really, of the
Within
FA
the
Cup.
big teams, yeah.
Second season in a row. Also, the Carabao Cup was early knockout. I mean, this season was one more wrong than United, but usually we're there amongst it, even in our bad seasons and performing in the league. Currently, we are 13th in the league, and I would say we look a stronger outfit. And with the win
Mm.
that you give us today, I think because you are a Premier League team, we just had Liverpool as well. You have just probably given United enough confidence to go into the next 5 games and maybe win four. We was thinking, where is the next win coming from? So I'll leave it to round up as it here because it's your first time and we were late and I know you have other things to do. And thank you to everyone joining. But as you answer the question about
Yeah.
what we asked just now, what are your thoughts? Has Arteta reached his limit? Because for me, I think unless he starts taking more risks, because I don't see why last season you all were out of the blocks, one of the most fastest, most penetrating teams last season. I admitted last season Arsenal was playing the best football.
Yeah.
This season, it's almost as though he's trying to play down the football you all played last season and maybe turn it on at this point in the season. But at this point, because you all played around so much, you don't have it in the tank because you don't believe that you could turn it on again. Your thoughts,
Mm.
Michael?
See, I mean, you made mention of something about the FA Cup. I mean, just go back to basics. I mean, what enabled him win that FA Cup in the first place? Can you remember the player that was there that scored
Granit Xhaka.
some very,
It
the
was Granit
attacker that
Xhaka and
scored some
Aubameyang.
very Aubameyang? I mean, that's a showstopper. I mean, in this, it, I mean, he actually won the league. I'm sorry. I'm having. I mean, he actually basically won that FA Cup for us single-handedly. I mean, is that guy that gave us that FA Cup title? I mean, in the league, I mean, he actually won the Golden Boot, for Arsenal in one of those seasons
Mhm.
there. And he came down to the FA Cup, scored those goals, won the trophy for you, and then you had a problem with him and you threw him all away. And that's the bigger problem because right now he doesn't have the striker of that ilk who could score you. And of course, when Aubameyang was here, is that kind of guy. That's why I made mention of his Golden Boot win. I mean, is that kind of guy, striker that could give you 20, 25 goals in a season. I mean,
100%.
Aubameyang literally did that season. So how do you transform from that? Throwing away the base that helped you get the only single trophy that's keeping you in the business right now at Arsenal Football Club, which is the
Mhm.
FA Cup, and completely go into a different U-turn and you're playing without a striker that would give you 20, 25 goals, or that have proven they can go all season giving you 20, 25 goals per season. Let's just look at Kai Havertz. Is he the kind of guy to give you 20, 25 season? Maybe if he was in Germany, that's a different case. But in Chelsea, he never had that kind of output in it. Even the seasoned striker he brought in that we thought we were getting from Manchester City, Gabriel Jesus, never scored more than 14 goals in a season.
Is he
Yeah,
really a
and even with a
striker?
winning, exactly, even with a winning side like Manchester City, he never did that. So that's a bigger problem. He only scored up to 14 goals. Arsenal doesn't have a striker that would give you 20, 25 goals in a season. And without that, you can't win the league. It's simple as that. We don't have those resources. The manager doesn't even want to play with a striker. It's totally giving more credence to defensive play, giving more credence to midfield play, and totally rubbished our attacking players. I mean, and again, we should also criticize this manager um, for devaluing our attacking talent in the football club. I mean, we had Trossard who was doing bits, yeah, in Brighton, scoring goals. I mean, he scored against Manchester United, scored against Liverpool, scored against Manchester City. I mean, Trossard was a decent player to have in your books. I mean, if you have
Exactly.
that kind of player from the bench, coming from the bench 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, you're getting something explosive. You're getting someone that loves football. You could see the way he plays, you could see the way he scores goals, and there's that smile on his face. I mean, the last time I saw a smile on Trossard's face on at Arsenal, I mean, that dates back to a long time, and that's why he wants out. He's not getting the amount of games he feels he should be playing. He's not starting the amount of games he feels he should be getting. They're not appreciating him more in terms of contractual agreement. I mean, he would soon be out of a contract, and Arsenal are giving him 1 year. Plus 1 year in lieu if he's going to meet up with some conditions they're giving him. I mean, he's looking at all these things, and the performances hasn't been befitting. That's number one. Mikel Arteta hasn't improved him as a player since he came to Arsenal Football Club. His goal ratio has sort of
Dipped.
decreased since he came down to Arsenal. Martinelli, the same thing. Martinelli, 2 seasons ago, got us about 15 goals in the bag this season. Martinelli's just, I mean, just wallowing in the shadows with just 5 goals. Gabriel Jesus only started showing some sort of traction in the game against Crystal Palace, where in that game against Crystal Palace, but in the Carabao Cup and both in the league, he scored about 5 goals in 2 games. But I mean, that's it. Where else has he scored a goal this season that has helped Arsenal or can even personally help his numbers? And when your attacking players are not doing the numbers for you, and you leave it in the hands of the defenders, which is true set pieces. What does that tell you? Arsenal doesn't have anything going forward. We're just struggling and just you know making up this result. And when you're doing that, it will come back to haunt you. This is Mikel Arteta's karma. And again, when you've been given 750 million pounds to develop a team, I mean, how many coaches in the world would like to get their hands on nearly £1 billion to refurbish their team? I mean, I know many managers, yeah, that don't have the luxury of actually just I mean, having
Having a
up
bank
to
like that, a
that,
bankroll.
bro, having the pocket that's deep as that.
Bro,
But then you
Amarim,
have this
as good
manager.
as he
I
is,
mean,
he came from a club where
750
never had
million
that kind
pounds.
of bankroll.
Bro, 750 million pounds. I mean, if you're Ten Hag, that is in an elite area in that one. I can really understand that one with Ten Hag. But again, man, when you're a manager that's without the experience and and the management backs you up like that, man, with 750 million pounds hard end cash from from that management, they expect you to have a striker. They expect
And
you to have they expect
everything
you
you
to have a
need.
striker who would give them
So they expect
20
you to have a
25 goals
squad.
in a season. After spending 750 million, you don't have a like for like replacement for Bukayo Saka when it goes down the drain. I mean, just look at what happened to Bukayo Saka. There is no replacement for him across the book. We had to actually tap into our reserves, which is Waneri, who actually came there to have any sort of traction whatsoever down that right hand side. And that's a bigger problem for Arsenal Football Club. We don't have quality players coming from the bench because the manager has completely fluffed his lines in the market, is wasted transfer funds. We don't have a striker right now. We're dilly-dallying trying to get the throw ups and the rejects of these football clubs. I mean, just day before yesterday, we heard that Arsenal Football Club, I mean, sounded out Manchester United, begging, guys in the charts, Arsenal Football Club literally begging Manchester United on a phone call to actually hand them the keys to Marcus Rashford to come down to the Emirates. I mean, It's ridiculous. But now it's become comical for Arsenal, going for all these dead players and for all these half-baked players to come in and do what for Arsenal Football Club. I mean, we've had Willian down here. We've seen the calamity in Kai Havertz that we have down there. Gabriel Jesus is not that guy, even if I do like him. He's not that guy. He's proven it. He can get you even 15 goals in a season. Even in Manchester City, he got his highest tally in the league was 14 goals. It's not possible. He can't do it. You have Trossard. It's not. It's barely an impact player. He can't offer you 20 goals in a season. And of course, he has outcoached and totally removed every iota of confidence in Gabriel Martinelli. So those previous 15 goals you were getting 2 seasons ago, you can't get it from him. He can't replicate it. One a big problem, one a mess. And I'm thinking that the management really want Arsenal to crash and burn so that they can be able to sack Mikel Arteta. This is the reason why I'm saying that. He's always, I mean, he's built a big partnership with Josh Kronk. Yeah, they're big friends.
Hmm.
They go on dinners. I mean, they go on dates. I mean, these guys must have been to the sauna together. They are that close. They're big friends. So, and of course, Josh has a very big influence with his father, Stan Kroenke. He handles actually almost everything the father does. He is is the front runner. He does everything, even in his American clubs. He he does everything tightly knit, with his father, with his father's blessings. But he's the mouthpiece, and he has formed this big friendship with Mikel Arteta, which
Arteta.
I think which I think has really affected the football club because a big time club, yeah, will be looking at the performances of Mikel Arteta. Mind you, he came eighth in his first season. The other season, same thing again. So many other ownerships, yeah, of a big institution in England would say, you know what, yeah, this manager isn't good enough. Yeah, he left Mikel Arteta. We're back into the Champions League. We're back into the big time, challenging for the title. But that's not a title. Challenging for the title isn't a title. So one way or the other, you have to go in there and win the big ones. And again, Mark, you also touched this just a little bit. Mikel Arteta has disrespected the sanctity of cup and domestic games in this league. He has disgraced us in the FA Cup. Mind you, Mark, Arsenal is the record winners of the FA Cup. So why, in God's name, would this manager keep disrespecting these cup games? And that is the only iota of hope you have this season that Liverpool is running away with the title. We're down here facing the Manchester United squad that's the worst in the past for the past 63 years. This is the worst Manchester United team. And you are
In a
telling
long
me
time.
that Arsenal Football Club cannot go in there in a home game and defeat Manchester United that's worse off 63 years. You can do it. I mean, brother, man. I mean, it's all off. And I mean, the only certificate this guy came in to this football club as manager is, I mean, it's just being, an assistant with Pep Guardiola. I mean, the assistant Pep Guardiola doesn't mean that you're going to be an incredible manager. Yeah, you can sense it that the IQ is there, but it's not seasoned enough. And this is this first big institution. I really felt that Mikel Arteta, what would benefit him is for him to go into the doldrums just a little bit. After you had that stint with Pep Guardiola in Manchester City, go into all the smaller clubs, maybe not totally small, but all these other, mid-table teams that will help you, develop your IQ, develop the way you see football, so that you don't see it just through tactics. You could see it for what it is, strengthening
Hmm.
positions, tactical play. Mikel Arteta plays only one way. It's only one way he knows how to play. I mean, switched up a little bit. Yeah, how about just going forward and just looping the balls over midfields and just get direct one-on-one play with your strikers and the goalkeeper. Just loop balls over. You won't pass the ball all around most of the time. you would have bigger problems, mostly when your captain and the guy who we give the task of creating for this football club is not on form. These are the things that will happen. Clueless. Your recruitment has been so bad. Your footballing IQ has been so horrible because you're not putting the players that needs to be put there. You're not starting them. You brought in players like Sterling only to be warming up the bench. They're not playing when they need to be playing. We've had this manager mismanage lots of players' injuries. I've seen him push in Thomas Partey, even when Thomas Partey has been injured, pushed him back into the field. I've seen this manager hack Bukayo Saka back in to play when he's injured. Even Martinelli, I've seen this manager do that. And he's mismanaged their injury processes in this football club, mismanaged the players, and we only have a problem, a bigger problem. And the only thing that he is taking pride in building in this team that has been a showstopper for him, we're now beginning to see cracks, and that's the partnership
Exactly.
between Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. Now we can see that there are big, big cracks down there now. Saliba is beginning to think of that Real Madrid move, is beginning to get into his head. And suddenly, Gabriel Magalhaes will start saying, you know what, yeah, 3 seasons ago, this football club wanted me out. They actually wanted to sell me to Saudi Arabia. Oh my God. And the guy they placed before me, which is Saliba, made him a king, wants out to Real Madrid. I think I better start looking for other options. And this is where we start seeing the disintegration of that Arsenal defense, and which is what Mikel Arteta has proud himself in doing. Everything falling apart, brick by brick, cement by cement. I mean, this manager, it's done. When the only thing you've been able to build in this team is the defense, and it's crumbling before our eyes. I mean, I mean, uh, it's
Rob,
only God that can save Arsenal.
Rob is an American Man United fan, my brethren from Nigeria, to be fair.
Yeah.
He kind of, he think, what I mean? I kind of agree with him, you know. I also agree with Assembled here. We have for me, player for player, we have a better squad. Lots of our players, though, are the unfinished articles, so there's still the unknown with them, still some moments where they could make mistakes, but when they are on it and the effort is there, United will beat anybody. That's always going to be my opinion. And it's so
Mm,
sad. You know what I mean? Because I love to beat the Arsenal always. Love to drop you all up if when we can. Winning on penalties like how we won is also an amazing win because these things hurt. And we enjoy that. Like just like if it was to be Liverpool, we don't really care too much about Man City. When we beat them, we beat them. But small club things. Big clubs from history. You know what I mean? With that level of how we call it heritage. You understand?
mm,
And I do think
yeah.
Arteta, he might be a Pep disciple. I'm not a huge fan of Pep style football, but the one thing I could say is the ideology where coaches is want to snub cups, whether they're small or big, and they can't win none, or they don't consistently win any. I have a problem with that. And when a
Mm,
coach say we have bigger fish to fry for a team who's supposed to be one of the best in the world. When the Premier League supposed to be the best league in the world. And when the Premier League have top five, six teams, they're supposed to be of the top 36 best teams in the world. And when those
mm,
teams saying it's okay to get dunked out of a competition because they're focusing on one league, but you're playing in three or four, that is not enough ambition for me. And I am
yeah.
so happy that Alex Ferguson instilled into this club that, listen, when we go into a tournament, whether it is we in the Carabao, the FA, the Europa,
Mm,
God forbid we end up in the Conference League like Chelsea, which, I'm
yeah.
playing Upton FC in a park, and lose, which I don't think will happen. But, things like that equally of importance to lift because when you announce on your kit that you're playing Carling Cup, or you're playing FA Cup, or you're playing Europa League or Champions League, your fans want to win. They want to
Mm,
lift the cup. And whether
yeah.
if you can't win the big ones, you had to win where you could get. So you had to go
Yeah.
from small, medium, large, gross.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, when our manager start talking those things, or fans start talking those things, I get a little worried. Now, I
Mm,
have heard some links for your club in the transfer market. I just want to run through a quick little thing for both of us, you know, because I paid attention to a little bit of news from Arsenal, and there's some rumors that y'all went into heavy negotiations with Gyökeres. I don't know how true that is. I mean, I would not like to hear that because I would like him to come to United. But if true, there's a possibility that you could be getting Gyökeres by next week, as early as then. I won't turn my
I
ears up,
don't
but
think so.
I'm not
I don't
saying
think
this.
so.
What I'm saying is
Mm,
this is just the current report coming out of Sky Germany right now. And there's also some reports that, you are further inquiring about Rashford, who is nearing a signature at Milan, while Barcelona is preparing a strong bid to get him in on a loan with a buy clause. Now,
mm.
that's interesting. I heard Napoli's interested in Garnacho, but 5 minutes ago, Florian Plettenberg just said that they are preferred to make a move for Rashford, and albeit possibly a permanent move once the deal is completely secured, which should be done in the next couple of hours for Kavicha. If that happens, let's see what happens. But I would look forward to seeing maybe Arsenal do some business. Let's keep the competition up. I
Mark,
would,
Mark, Mark, Mark.
yo,
I would take any news you're getting about Marcus Rashford with a pinch of salt, because I don't think these rumors are true. I mean, you have a player, yeah, who's had a drop season. I mean, he spent more time with rappers and basketballers than actually playing the game of football. So, I mean, and for you to say that these clubs are all jostling to fight for him right now, I think they're lies. I think there's a media takeouts, there's a media implanted agent, down there. Pulling the stops down there, they're pulling the strings beneath your eyes. You're not seeing it. I mean, a player who hasn't had even a good season is been linked to a host of all these clubs. It's been
hey,
linked to PSG this morning. The next morning is linked to Arsenal. The next three
yeah. Well,
days
you see,
is
the
linked
thing
to
is,
FC Barcelona. The next day is linked to AC Milan. And I mean, just a couple of days ago, it was linked to Borussia Dortmund. Don't you see the evidence, the clear evidence of media push out,
no, but
of media
Dortmund,
razzmatazz? I mean, just pushing this garbage out for you Manchester United fans to garbage out, garbage in and garbage out. I mean, it's clear. Take the news you hear about Marcus Rashford with a pinch of salt. I dilly dally into transfer news and transfer market. I've seen these things go in and out. Many players, many journalists are in the payrolls of these players, and
yeah.
when they want to engineer a move, they just start putting
Well,
and pitching
here I will tell
stories
you.
out there. I don't think Barcelona want a Marcus Rashford. That's a big, big, big
I
lie.
was the first one
The
to
news is there.
rubbish the
The news is there,
Barcelona
but I think it's a lie.
because
I mean,
I
I
don't
mean,
believe
he's
they have
linked
the
to
money
every
now.
top club in Europe. Come on, bro. It's a lie.
No, but
Even Napoli.
let me tell you
Thank you,
something.
Lucky. Thank you, Lucky Sink. Even Napoli. I mean, yesterday in the morning, it was
Napoli
linked to
about to
Napoli.
receive 80 million for euros, bro. And if Napoli does, Conte does want Rashford. That is 100% sure. And my friend is friends with Alfredo Padula, my friend Mick Ruby. So this is
Even
the one thing
Napoli
I
wants
know.
Garnacho. You're
I
hearing
mean,
all these
they would
astronomical
not
figures.
take
They want
they
all these
wouldn't take
people.
Garnacho over Rashford, bro. And reason why I say that there's possibilities is because this Donny Marlon move to Villa, 20 million pounds to Dortmund. Dortmund was looking at Rashford for a loan.
It's not about that. It's about what the player will bring to the team. That's what
He
we're
will
talking
bring
about.
lots. You see, this is why I
What will a
keep,
Marcus Rashford bring to a Barcelona
bro.
team?
I could tell you
Because
what.
his form doesn't tell us that he's going to
His
bring anything to
form,
them.
his form in the
So
Premier League for Manchester could be saying X. But let's not put it past Marcus Rashford, a player we know he's more talented and a lot more gifted than he's been showing the last few months. Of course, not just
then why are
18
you not
months
keeping
ago,
him? If
he was
why
on
are you not
30
keeping
plus
why are
goals
you
a
not keeping
season.
him? Why
Because
are you not keeping
sometimes it
him if
runs
he's that
sour. It's like
talented? I mean,
it's like why you guys didn't keep Aubameyang. It's like why you guys didn't keep Granit Xhaka. The fans want him out. He was not that player at Arsenal that everyone thought he was. And y'all had to get rid of him for y'all to be better. That's what y'all claimed. Then he went to Bayern, became invincible. You know what I mean? So for me, sometimes it's a loss the club has had to take, and this is just the situation as it is because it stands. Some players, after a certain amount of time of not having good form or doing well at a club, the relationship, everything runs sour. It's like a bad relationship with an ex-girlfriend. You hope for you all to be in love for the rest of your lives, but some things can happen, and then it just doesn't work out, and you all try to end things on a good
Mark,
note,
I
but it
don't
just
want
doesn't
Rashford.
happen.
I know you Man United fans want to push him. I mean, just look at Lucky Singh. I mean, in the charts. I mean, just look at that brother go. I mean, just
Forget
start
Lucky
away.
Singh.
It's just saying
Focus
we're good with
here.
the swap moves, bro,
Focus
man.
here.
I don't need
Focus
that
here.
guy anywhere in my football club.
I'm
I mean,
telling you, bro. I so real with you.
we need to be,
If you
and
get
this is the
Marcus
problem with Arsenal.
Rashford,
We
your
need to be
title
linked
change
with
could be
killers.
back on.
We need to
Trust
be
me.
linked with killers. I mean, we
He
need
is a
killers in our
he is a killer,
we need
bro.
killers in
He
our
just
attack.
he just
And I'm sorry,
lost
man.
he lose the
Rashford isn't the
instinct.
assassin we need in our team.
Nah, bro.
Thank you very much.
He is.
And
Trust.
certainly he's not
He
worth
would enjoy
40 million
London.
pounds.
If y'all could bring the smile back on that brother face, trust me, he might be better than Saka for y'all. It might be
Oh my
a opposite
days. Oh
Robin van
Jesus
Persie
Christ.
business. You know what I mean? It
You
might be an
oh
opposite
my
Robin
days.
van
So
Persie.
now you're actually comparing Rashford to predominantly or presumably the best right
No, I'm not
winger
comparing him.
in
I
the
say it
whole of
might
the
be a
league
situation like that. Remember,
consistently,
Robin van
Barcelona.
Persie came to
Bro,
United and
man,
won a
come on, man.
trophy.
Don't do this,
Maybe he
bro.
goes there and
Mark,
he wins
don't
a
do this,
trophy
bro.
with you guys. You never
Mark,
know.
I really do respect your football takes, but don't do it. Don't go that low. Bro, I know you can go low, yeah. I know you can go below the belt and give a punch. But my brother, man, don't do this, bro. Don't do this, bro. Come on,
Claude,
man.
all
Don't do
jokes
this, bro.
aside,
Are you
this
now
is a big
comparing
question here.
Rashford?
You need to
No, no,
answer.
no.
Which
You need to
Caribbean island you
apologize
from,
for
brother?
this.
Forget
Bro, you need
Rashford.
to
Which
apologize for this.
Caribbean island
No, no,
are you
no, bro,
from?
no. Wait, no, I'm not leaving this,
Luan
bro.
would like to know.
You
The Caribbean
comparing
family in
Rashford,
the chat would like to know. Come on, let me
bro.
move. I would not go.
You
See,
comparing
Lucky Singh
Rashford
knows me. Look, Lucky Singh
to
knows I
Bukayo
would not go
Saka.
low.
Come
I
on,
keep it
bro,
above the table.
bro.
I keep it above.
That's a low. That's a low blow, bro.
You know
I'm
how we
not.
Trinidadians do it, bro. But really and truly, the chat really would like to know which Caribbean island my brother Claude is from. Claude, please let them know. You know.
Yeah, bro. See, of course, I'm Nigerian. Of course, I had a stint in England, and I'm currently in Finland right now. I'm also a citizen here. But the thing is, I love football. That's the most important thing. Mark is my brother. I mean, someone was saying, what island does Anthony come from? See, man, I'm from Nigeria. Come to Africa. That's where we all come from. Me, Mark. That's the root. It's Africa.
Hey,
So
Madhouse.
it's just nice to come down
Yo,
to this channel. Thanks for the reception. When Mark came to my channel, everyone was respectful to him. Everyone showed him that love and welcome him. And I think most of them subscribe to the channel too. So please just do me a favor. Come down to my channel, subscribe. Even if you're not an Arsenal fan, you can come and troll me a little bit. I mean, sometimes I come to the chat here and troll you guys and get you guys angry. So I mean, just come to my chat,
of course we'll be
get
there.
me angry, once or twice. Show me some support, give me some subscriptions, and keep me and Mark alive. Already, I like what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the numbers already. The show is doing quite well. Guys, just keep showing us some love. This is what you'll be getting most of the time when
It's in the
we
chat,
do our
Lucky.
show. So it's Tony Claude Gunner TV. Please subscribe to the channel. Show me some love, and let's just talk football. This is how I do my own. I really love to respect pundits that do a good job. But Mark per se has been a very, very tremendous podcaster. I have the utmost respect for this brother. The way he talks football, his footballing IQ is totally extensive. It's very broad, and we'll be tapping into that scenario because we won't just be limiting this show to just Manchester United and Arsenal. We'll definitely be talking about transfer windows, other varied games in the league. Our partnership is big. Me and him has already had two great successful shows in the space of 3 days. I mean, you can't throw that all away. So, guys, keep supporting the channel. come down there, support me, because Mark is part and parcel of my channel since day before yesterday. And I hope I'm part and parcel and a
Of
family with you guys. Please, let's show us some love and let's get it over with,
course.
and
You know,
expect more from us. Expect
Claude,
more from us.
I just wanted to tell you, if you was to have some money in your coffers, and I said some money, and when I say some money, I'm talking real money. I'm talking
Mm,
Declan Rice type money, right? I would allow you to pay 150 million for this guy, euros, just so I could get 60. And that's the only way I would ever make a deal. You see, these friends, this is a generational talent, one like you've probably haven't seen since the likes of a Van Persie. I wouldn't want to sell him. Actually, I want to bring him back to United at the end of the season because I don't want anybody to bid for him. I think we was just to send him here for 6 months on another loan, not a sale. But you know what? We needed to make the fans happy. But we will be re-examining the situation because this young brother here, trust me, this is a title winner. This come to your team,
mm.
I guarantee you he's better than Saka. He is better than Saka, brother. Saka is dream to be this guy. Just want you to understand. But
See,
guys,
guys, before we
please.
go, just before we go, there's one guy that I really want Arsenal to go tempt. Even right now, he's willing to leave, and his name is Alexander Isaac. Leave this Victor Gyökeres and all this. Leave all these ones that won't work, Arsenal. Just go pressure Newcastle to release Isaac. If they claim his fee is 150 million, Arsenal, you've brought in Declan Rice for over 100 million pounds. Go and bring in Isaac and get a shooter, get an assassin up in that attack, and tap that boom. Get me a left winger and a right winger, and we all done. We can at least start to dream again. But if this manager is going to sit back here and think that Kai Havertz and all these other Oreos and chickens that we have in our attacking setup are going to win us the league, then I'm sorry, we're joking. I'm sorry, we're deluded in what's going to happen because this manager is taking us down the drain. Just go get us attacking recruits in the general transfer window that's open right now. Go there and do it. But again, this manager, I still feel that the owners still don't trust him after everything that has gone on right now, and it might affect us in the transfer window. But guys, it's painful. This is a painful thing, a painful pill to swallow. Arsenal, just go for Isaac. Just go for
Yeah.
Isaac. Pay the
All the
150
Isaac
million.
talk.
Pay the 150 million. Pay it, guys.
Pay
Pay the
it.
Arsenal.
Because you
You
know
have the
what?
money. Pay
You
the
know
money,
what?
guys.
I begging
Pay
for
the
them to
money.
pay it too. You know what? Because I went to his channel this week and I know I told him, I said, we're going to beat y'all, bro. We're going to knock you guys out the cup.
What did I say in my prediction? What
He
did I
said it's
say?
possible. He said he could see it. He couldn't see a win coming. He wasn't sure.
No, I said it. I said that Man United was going to win. Go back to our show. And I said it. And the reason why I said that you were going to win that match is that I've watched Arsenal for so long. Whenever we drop points like this, we drop points in droves. We do it in a bunch. So we drop points against Brighton. We got that big time loss in the Carabao Cup against Newcastle. It's a trail. Arsenal must still lose the next 3, 4 games. That's how we do, unless there's a check put in. And then we can now, because when we fall, will fall in, as in it's in bunches. It's hard to understand, but we just rake up these games here and lose it in a trail. That's how Arsenal have their drop in form. So, but again, if we go into the next match, which is a North London derby, I'm not so confident with what we have right now going into that derby coming up this week. It's a
Tottenham.
big, big, big problem. Big, big, big problem. Again, let's see what happens. But for now, let's go into the transfer window and get a striker in. That's what we should do. And thank you, the charts. Big up to you, the charts. You guys are the real heroes. Thank you, Luan, for subscribing. Thank you, Lucky, for subscribing. Big up to you guys. Madhouse, big up to you, man.
Big up to everyone in the chat. Love you all. You know how we do on this channel. Have a safe one. Enjoy your night. This has been my presentation. Of course, my boy Tony Claude Gunner. We're going to be here doing some more streams together as well. Of course, we need to give him some smiles. He's been despondent, disappointed, and sour. He was hyped at the beginning of the season with a lot of chest, and he was coming at me like,
Exactly.
Mark, when we're gonna drop you? Whenever you want, we there. And I was the one like, bro, it's gonna take some time, but I'll come for you. And the time was never sooner than now. Big up to
Yeah,
everyone
exactly.
watching. Have a
Big up to
great
the
night.
charts.
Thank you from Tony and myself. Thank you for watching, and leave your comments and criticisms in the live or the non-live section. We will definitely reply to that. And of course, all criticisms are
I
good,
will, Madhouse. Thanks.
and we can improve the streams as well. And get yourself, I will have one as well, a German one to be fair, because that's where your boy is
Big
at.
ups. Yeah,
Big ups,
exactly, man.
everyone. We'll catch you again on the next time. Big ups,
Peace,
Tony.
people. Stay safe, guys. Stay safe.
Baby.